lived on St. Michael Street, LaGuard Street, in 3 different houses, but all in the same neighborhood. So where I'm living now on St. Michael Street is where I've been living for the last 70, 80 years. We're only about 4 blocks from downtown Thibodaux and right in the middle of Thibodaux. We had a vacant lot where we played, mostly it was baseball and football, and I love basketball. You only played about 3 or 4 sports, and that's all you had. We had no gyms in the parish. The first gym was Mount Carmel. We played on the dirt court. My father, he was a disciplinarian. He was a Hungarian. And he knew what he liked and he knew what he didn't like. And I worked with, during the summertime, I'd work at the foundry. He had a foundry and a machine shop. And I'd go out with him and he taught me a lot of things, what to like and what not to like and what to do and not to do. When he told you not to do it, you didn't do it. If you did it, you got your butt smacked. When I was at Thibodaux High School, I was playing, Coach Thibodaux was the head coach. And that summer, I got in a bicycle, caught my foot, and I tore up my heel and I couldn't play. So he told me, he said, look, well, do me a job. He said, will you coach the 9th graders? So I coached the 9th grade team. And we had 6 games. I believe we were either 5-1 or 6-0. And he told me, he said, Coach, he said, if you ever go to school and you can be a coach, he said, I'll hire you. And then when I got out of high school, I went to Thibodaux, to the Nichols, it was a junior college. And I played baseball over there. And then I went to Southeastern. I didn't play baseball at Southeastern, but I came back to Thibodaux. When I graduated from Southeastern in '54, the first year I taught in Lockport for Dudley Hillman. And stayed there 1 year, and then Thibodaux hired me at Thibodaux High School. Thibodaux was a heck of a coach and a good leader, a good disciplinarian. I stayed at Thibodaux High School for 2 years.
Okay.
And Theo became the principal. Mm-hmm. And then they just opened Thibodaux Junior High. They were the first junior high in the parish. Mm-hmm. And I was selected as the head coach and athletic director of the junior. I stayed there 5 years. Vince McDonough left Thibodaux College and they're looking for a coach, and I applied for it and I got the job. When you went to Thibodaux College and so, you only had three teachers, 3 coaches, and 1 coached football, 1 coached basketball, 1 coached baseball. So I coached football at one time, I had basketball, I had baseball, I had track, I coached golf, tennis, and you did everything. Then they came in with cross country, and you only had 3 or 4 coaches, so you had to double up and so. But you coached a little bit of everything. When I went to Thibodaux College, I left Thibodaux Junior High in 1961, 62, and I applied for the job. And I really didn't go through all the physical parts of Thibodaux College. And anyhow, they called me that I had the job. Oh, I went there, I said, well, I looked at the equipment room, and it was about as large as right here, with everything stacked up and so on. Where the kids dressed at? Over here. Most of them, I believe, dressed on the 3rd floor or so. I went in the shower room. They had 6 showers, I believe 3 worked. And I said, oh, geez, I said, boy, what the hell you did? But it's one of the best moves I ever made in my life. The Brothers of the Sacred Heart.
Yeah, amen.
Brother Hubert and Brother L.J. Lord. Then I had some good kids and good parents and good coaches.
A's hire A's, B's hire C's. Coach Szush was an A+ because of the people he hired.
If I had a talent, I guess it was selecting assistant coaches. And I had some good ones.
Right.
And they stayed with me for years, and the offshoots, they became college, they became coaches out. And
the pinnacle of his success was the first 4 years of E.Y. football. Football season 1966, 67, 68, and 69, in which Coach Szush '66 had a undefeated district champion. '67 had a semifinalist team, and of course '68, '69 had 2 state championship teams.
'67 was a good ball club. We just happened to play on a night, on a Saturday night in Kinder, that things just didn't work out. The weather, front came in, it was freezing, raining earlier. We didn't get any help from any of the officials. The sideline marker man, he's on my side, and they're going 8 yards for a first down, and we're going 10, and I don't know what they did on the other side. Now, '68 was a different ball club, it was more mature, and '69, I believe, was a good year, but it was a carryover from '68, the leadership and so on.
Laurie and Joe Parker, Laurie was a quarterback. He could throw the ball, and he was a good leader. And I could call timeout and take my little chalkboard and call Laurie over and say, look at what we're going to do. They get back into the huddle, tell the kids, and we did it. And the same thing with the defense. You put the little chalkboard and said, write it down and call one of them and change it. We had good, smart kids, sharp kids. They became doctors, lawyers, engineers, designers, coaches, educators. I could change my offense and defense at the half, and they catch on right to it.
You develop talent and the ability to win. You develop leaders to direct and motivate, and you rewarded us by achieving goals we once thought were unachievable. To your credit, we all won in life.
We were fortunate to play in that era with a guy like Pat. Coach Szush has been so important to our group of guys, and has always encouraged us and demanded the best when we were football players.
And as I was going to the brother's house, Roosevelt Sanders asked, said, Coach, can I talk to you? I said, what do you need? He said, can we come out for football? I said, but first I said, let's check eligibility. Mm-hmm. Let's check their grades, their attendance, and so on. And I said, if they're eligible, I said, I see no reason not to play them. The All-Star game in 1969, I was with the West, and that was the first black that played in the All-Star game. I believe Charles Battle from the Shreveport area. Mm-hmm. But times has changed, right. and it's worked out. We had no problems.
I went to half a year at Assumption High School, and the job opened up, and Neil McQuigg was the principal, and I applied for it, and I got it. And I tell you, Neil McQuigg was a good principal.
Prior to the arrival of Coach Szush in 1977, Thibodaux High had not been to the playoffs since 1962. Coach Szush was smart, and as most players would say, Coach Szush forgot more football than most coaches ever knew in a lifetime. He was firm, but always kept his cool. He was a gentleman on and off the field. He never belittled a player, instead encouraged him to not repeat his mistake.
I don't believe I raised my voice too much, but when I did pick it up, they knew what was happening. And I wasn't energetic. I didn't run up and down the sidelines and so on, but I was pretty calm.
Right.
A couple of things instilled in me was to be a family person. Always think about your family, and he brought Thibodaux High together as a family.
I never heard the man ever raise his voice to any of us, which is unheard of in the coaching profession, but he never yelled at us. He could be profane at times, but he never yelled at us. The other thing I learned from Pat Szush was, if you lose your cool, you lose. And that man never lost his cool.
I had classmates, friends. See, we still had a lot of racial tension. Coach Szush said, Briscoe, let me tell you something. There's no color in my field house. I need you and Foot to talk to your players. I say, okay. Me and Foot talk. Cornell Henderson right here. I said, Cornell, the roughest thing at West was Ronnie Esty. I said, send him to me. I control the east side, y'all boys there west couldn't handle it. Of course, I said, Briscoe, let me tell you, ain't no more east and west. Y'all Thibodaux Tigers now.
If it wasn't for football, I believe I'd have lost interest in school, but you had to keep your grades up in order to play. And Coach, you talked to us and we was there. We fought for you.
Laurie, Joe Farquet, Cam Morvan, I had wonderful coaches. Tex, Bollinger.
Everything that he's taught me about life, not just coaching, still holds in my principles today. He led me to the greatest profession in the world as a teacher-coach. And he always told me, he said, Laurie, remember, you're a teacher first and a coach. I never found a poor coach that wasn't a good teacher. That was a powerful statement.
Oh, I had Eric Candlestick for only a year. He was tremendous.
Yeah.
I had Joe Farquet, played football, baseball, track. I had Laurie Dupont. Became an outstanding athlete and also a very, very excellent coach. Ronald Scott at Thibodaux High School. He played up at Southern, played a little pro ball with Miami. Wayne Duncan, Ellery Scott, Lynn Kennedy. David O'Tan was a good athlete.
Oh, my wife, honey. Met her in high school. We went out. We dated a few times. And I graduated in 1949. And I got married. I got married when I was 19 and she was 17. She was still in school, a senior. And she was the first married to be in school to graduate. And then she became a wonderful wife, raised a good family and a good worker and a good cook. And when we went to school, we worked and we shared for 68 and a half years. I don't believe we had an argument. We used to get in the car sometime after a football game, drive to the corner and say, where are we going? I don't know. We'd take off, put our suitcase and go to Mississippi, Alabama. We'd spend the weekend somewhere and had fun. So Bill was a good athlete. And Jerry Lee, my daughter, she was a good teacher, a good student. And now she's living in Texas, has a good family. And Joe has a good family, good friends. And so she played in the band and so and so. And Jonna, that was a little pit bull. But she was a good student. And she's a lovely wife now and has a good family. And Kenneth, the baby, he's a good boy too. So I had a good family. You learn by making mistakes. You learn not to do them again. And once you set your pattern, like you said, you could give it all you got, a little bit. But you take care of yourself and you learn by other people's mistakes, by their attitude. You can learn a lot just by listening and reading. You don't have to talk, you just listen. And you could read people's minds and attitudes.